Hello guys, welcome to the second video of this series, Programming 1. Of course, somebody may ask why Programming 1, because the last one was 0. Okay, let's start with some new stuff today. Let's talk about some new objects and new data storage types. I built a new project, as you remember what I did in last video. Windows Form applications, and I press OK and my form is ready. In this video I want to introduce a kind of data type. For example, imagine we want to have a point on the screen. This point can have two coordinates like X and Y, and maybe a color, because we have colors on these screens. The screens are colorful. They have 16 million or 32 million of colors. So the way we express these kind of colors is called RGB. Let me show you at the Photoshop, yeah. Okay, at the Photoshop, if I want to have a color, you can see easily. For example, if I open this one, I have R, G, and B. They can be from 0 to 255. This is which means 255 and 255. If all of them are R and G and B are 255, I get color white. And if I have 0, 0, and 0, I have color black. So if I want to have a point on the screen, I should have X and Y and 3 elements of R, G, and B to be able to show it on the screen and the color I want. So let me close this one, we don't need it. Okay. So if I want to define, let me bring a button on my form. If I want to define a variable that holds that one, so I have to define some variables like integer, because the screen is integer. In a screen you cannot have float or something like that. The integer X, integer Y, then I have short, means short data type means 16-bit, or I can have even byte. Byte goes from 0 to 255. Okay, byte, R, G, and B. Okay, fine. Now I have something that I can put all of my data about my point on them. But unfortunately, there is a problem here. If I had lots of points on my screen, thousands of points on my screen, I had problems. I had to define arrays of this one. I cannot use that one, and these arrays could make some problem. Let me show you a very small example of my screen resolution. My resolution is 1366 into 768. If we multiply them together, let me put it on. Put it on scientific. If I have 1366 into 768, I have how many of them? I have more than 1 million points on my screen. So it's really hard to manage them in arrays and find them, the relation between them, which one is for which one, and what happens if I have a program that I want to run it on different machines. So it's not a very good idea. It's better to have an entity that holds this data for me. So you remember, I think all of you should remember the structures in C++. So I want to define a structure, a struct point. but let's call it my point. Okay, then I do this. Then instead of doing this one, I can define this one as integer x and y. I can completely I can copy and paste them here. That's it. Then now I can define a variable my point, like whatever I do with integer x, I can write my point p. That's it. Then I told you we can access properties by dot and nothing else. What is the problem here? If you notice, we have something called public, and private here. What are these things? They are called modifiers, and they are new they are available in newer versions of programming languages. These modifiers help us to show and hide our classes, our functions from different places. Now, if I want to have access to this one, I can access them through this, into this structure. You know, when I am in the structure, I'm writing code here, I can have access to them. But if I want to have access out of this scope, I need to define it as public. So I can define it as public, and I can define this one as public. So now I have p dots, all of them are here, x, y, r, g, and b. So let's forget r and g and b and just use x and y. So I have x 100, p dot x 100, and p dot y 120. Okay, that's fine. Now I have a point which I can access the properties of it. These are called, actually they are not exactly called properties, but they look, at least they look like properties. They are called fields. Properties are a little different, we will discuss it soon. But here, let's call it, for now, let's call it properties. So my point has some properties, x and y. If I want to define an array of points, it's easy. I can just measure my screen height and width and define as much as I want, just point it. I don't need to deal with lots of arrays. I can just deal with array of points only. If I want to define an array of points, I can just write my point is to pp equals to new pp. No, sorry, my points. And then I want to write 100 of them. This is how we define arrays in C#. They are a little different. And you know, this goes here, this will be added here, and then you use a keyword new, my point, 100 of them. This means I want to have an array of class or a structure. Classes act same. My point then is called pp, and then allocate it for 100 of them. This is how it works. It's a little different in C#, but don't worry, it's as it is, simple. Then I can have pp from 0 to 99. Remember, 0 to 99. When I mentioned here 100, it starts from 0. I can access pp from 0 to 99. 100 is not available anymore. Okay? So this is how I deal with points. But what happens if I want to know where is my what is the distance of my point from the origin? I have to define a function to do that. Okay, so let's define a function. I just come here, then I define a function. I call it float, let it be float. I call it distance from origin, and this one accepts a point, not something else, not x and y, these things. So I have to define my point here. So my point P. So it accepts it. The other thing is, this should be, it can be private. By default, it's private. I don't need to mention private, but for just matter of convenience, I call it private because I want to access it here. So it's possible access through the whole class. I'm in the class form. So if I define something privately here, I can access it from here to here. Okay, now I want to return something. Okay, I return. I want to use some mass functions. You remember we had something hash include something cmass or something like that. It's not available anymore. In C# we have something called class math. So this class, we don't need to make an object out of it. It's just we can use it as it is, just math dot something dot, and I have all of these kind of functions here, all of them here. So I want to use sqrt. Then I want to use mass.power. Okay, this one should be my point P dot x to the power of 2, then mass dot power my point means P dot y to the power of 2. But of course it says, there is a problem here. If I hover on it, it says no overloaded for the method sqrt takes 2 arguments. Sorry, this should be a plus. Okay, but again we have problem. It says cannot implicitly convert double to float. So the output of sqrt is double, and my function returns float. So they don't match each other. So it's better to make it double from the beginning. That makes it easier. Okay, that's fine. Now I have my function ready to use. Double is like float. It supports floating point, but it is bigger. It's 2 times bigger in the data size. So I can have a big number in it with lots of points. Lots of floating points, decimal places. Okay, so here I can just use it on my form, and I can say, okay, this is my text box. Then I can come here, I say text box 1 dot text equals to distance from origin, and I pass my points. Let's change the name because I don't want to have the same name here. It may confuses you. I call it P1 here. Okay, P1. Then I pass P1 to it, and of course it gives us error. And why we have such error? It says cannot implicitly convert type double to a string. So it's a double, so it should be written on the screen as a string. So I need to change it to a string. So I use easily dots to a string. Then any function I use, I have to open and close this one and have it as it is. Okay, use an unassigned local variable. Okay, I need to define it as new. Okay. You saw. I forgot this. You saw it says unassigned. Let me just remove this again. I forgot it. Okay. When I use that one, it's only P1. It says unassigned. What a new does? This one defines a variable, but these variables should be structures or classes. But structure or classes are not allocated unless you use keyword new and the class name and these two parentheses. When you use this one, it allocates it, and then you can use it as it is. So now I have it here, and with dot to string, I change the whole double thing to string, and I send it back to my text vector text. Okay, let's run it. Have a little fun with it. Okay, you see this is the distance 156 dot 2 point something. Oh, so it shows me the distance from the origin of the screen. But remember, in Windows, origin of the screen is not here; it's here. This is 0 and 0. This is the maximum y and 0x. This is maximum y and x. Okay. No, this is not again very convenient. Again, there is problem. There is a problem here. When I want to have a structure here with some properties in them, then I want to know where it is. I have to define another function somewhere else to know where it is. So what happens if I can talk to my structure, to a structure point? I call this point, hey point, I want to know where you are, how far you are from the origin. So I have to send it to a school, university, or Ajman University maybe to learn how to calculate. So okay, let's send it to Ajman University. It's fine. So I just do the simple thing. I just copy and paste this one. Just I cut it or just move it from here into the structure. Into the structure. Remember, I just copied and pasted into the structure. Then I have to change it, of course, a little because it doesn't need any more my point P, because I can send x and y directly to it. My x and y are here. I don't need them. So I just, instead of this one, p dot x and p dot y, I just put x and y because they are here. They are always accessible for me, so I don't need to send it from somewhere else to it. So I just make it double without any inputs, and I just return something. So now I need to change it a little. I just remove all of them because I want to write it again to show you how it works. I write p1 dot. Now I have no function again because it is private. I needed public to be listed here. So public. Now I have p1 dot. Hey, it is here. Bingo. Just this. Then open and close, and that's it. No. What it says. Okay, it should be dot to a string, of course, because I want to put it on my text box, in my text box, so it should be converted to a string. Everything in every function you build, you don't need to define such thing to a string, but .NET does it for you. You don't need to do anything. So I just did that. No, my point can talk. I ask my point, where are you? How far are you from the origin? It says, okay, I'm that far. So let's run it. Okay, same answer, exactly same answer will be produced. So this is a very good thing. I can encapsulate all of my functions and everything related to one entity into it. I don't need to define lots of functions in different places. I can define it where I want, and I can access it as property with dots, but actually it is not called property anymore. When you use such a thing, a function in a structure or a class, the structure and classes are very close together. I can define, I can change this one just to a class, but the structure is something that you know. So I wanted to start with that one. But so P1 dot something that I have all of them here. You see, it's a cube. It's not it's not like this ones. It's a cube. The cubes are called methods. They are just called methods. That's it. ToString is built by .NET. It isn't. We don't do anything to it. So any function or subroutine into a class or a structure is called a method. These guys are called for no property, but you will see it's called field later. But they act as properties. If I want to change it to a class that it is the base of the whole of this object-oriented thing, I can just change it to class. That's it. And I don't change anything. This is a class. Memory management of classes and objects built from classes are different from structures. But we don't do anything about them. The system does the things you need. It uses garbage collection and all of these things for it. So they are a reference type. They are a little different from the structures, but don't worry about them at all. They look the same. You just can change the word struct with class, and all of them works well. If I run it again, that's it. I have the thing. Let's show you a cool thing. I want to show you a class that does something strange for us, something beautiful. Instead of showing it on text box, I want to show it on the screen as a pop-up window. There is a class that does it for you easily. Just the class name is MessageBox, and there is a function in it, a method show. Anything I put here will be sent to screen. So I write p1 dot distance from origin, and of course it accepts a string. To a string, open and close and open and close. You remember, if you don't want to send something to the function, you have to use these parentheses notations anyway. You don't have any way. Okay, let's run it. Okay, it's cool. I have my pop-up window here, and I can do some more beautiful things. But you know, look at this MessageBox that show. It's a little strange. It says, okay, you can send me a string text, but you have 21 options. Wow, how is possible? Option 2, you can send these things. Option 2, sorry, it's option 21. Option 2, you can send the string and the owner, a string and a string caption. Okay, let's use option 3. I send 2 strings to it, the string text and string caption. Okay, I use this one again, p1 dot distance from origin to a string and a simple string like cloud. Let's see what happens. Bam, I have my hello here and my value here. What about other things? Let's see, what option do I have? Okay, option 4 says you can use the owner, string text, string caption. Option 5 says message box buttons. Oh, I can change something. Okay, let's use this option. I have a string text, a string caption. Yes, they are filled with this one, the message box button. So if I want to use them, I write message box buttons. It is an enum. I talked about enum later. Dot. Okay, send OK cancel, not one OK anymore. I want open OK and cancel. Okay, now I have 2 buttons on my own. Oh, it's beautiful. Nice. How easy I can build them. It says, okay, option 6, you have buttons and these things. Okay, I go for option 7. It says message box icon. Oh, nice. Message box icons. Dot. Oh, information. Good. But some beautiful things. Oh, now I have this eye here. Nice. And I hope you heard the sound. There is a sound when I use this icon. There is a sound. Let me use this one. Oh, the danger one. Error. Bang. I have this one. Oh, so how easy I can build my pop-up window. It's good. But how it is possible? This shows you when I define a function here, for example, p dot distance from origin. I don't have any choices. It says, oh, this is it. You don't have any choices. How it works? This is called overloaded functions. Functions that are defined with different names. I want to do it same here, but with different variable list. I just copy and paste this here, and instead of distance from origin, I don't change the name, I don't change the double, the public, nothing. I don't change anything. I just write here integer a. It's just an example. I don't want to do anything with it. The other one, I use a different variable list integer b, and let's try it now. Now I have p1 dot origin, the distance from origin. I open the parentheses. It says, oh, you have three options now, 1, 2, 3, and you don't. The compiler chooses themselves by the data type and these things. You don't need to do anything. If I just leave it as it is here, it says, okay, first overload, first one, which has nothing. If I put one integer in, it says, okay, the second one. If I put two integer in it, it says, okay, it is the one. So it's really easy to have different functions with different variable lists that does different things with the same name, but like our MessageBox. Okay, so in this one we learned classes, how to define classes, how to define structures. They looked at least exactly the same. How to define methods, how to define fields, and how to use them as in our benefit. So in the next one, we will talk about properties, real properties, how properties works, and I hope in the next one I can go to and at least open the Android sticker and show you how close they are together. Okay, see you in the next video.